guys, so I recently did my hair again, and if you want to know how I did it, then keep on watching. Alrighty, so the first thing I want to show you is what I've done so far. I've done the back of my head, not the whole side, but like I've done the one side of the back of my head. And I'm just going to show you today how I do it. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to want to take your hair out of the ponytail, and you're going to go ahead and section out the section that you're going to start working on the other side. And as you can see, I'm not using a comb, I'm using my fingers. I know I probably should be using a comb, but I decided not to use a comb. I don't know why. I probably should start using a comb, huh? Alrighty, so once you have your section already sectioned out, you want to check to see if it is in line with the other side, which obviously it is not. Looking back at it now, it is not in line, but don't worry, I tried at least to fix it later on. So I'm gonna put my hair back into my ponytail that I had earlier, my ball head itself. And then I'm gonna take my pick and I'm going to detangle my hair or whatever, or make it tingly, so that way when I pull out a piece it'll be better. So I'm using my pink yarn, and I'm also using my black yarn. This yarn I got from Walmart, and the other yarn I'm not really sure. I just found it around my house. So and I'm showing you right now how my hair is sectioned out. I have my front piece, I have my two side pieces, so that way I can part my hair down the middle and the back. So what you're going to do now is you are going to take your yarn and you're going to measure along the one that you have. You should have one side already done to base your measurements on. Now what I like to do is I like to take this piece of my hair and I like to braid it down already, so that way I can braid that already and go down to how long I want my hair to be. And I measure it from that one part, so that way my hair can all look at least a bit even when it's all said and done. So what you're going to do is you're going to loop it. And I'm going to loop it at the bottom. I'm going to take it, as you can see, there's two loops at the bottom. You need to keep those. These we will not be bothering with that much. But this side that you see, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that piece off, as you can see. Now you have two open parts, and what you're going to do is you're going to take the loop and the cut part, you're going to put them together, so that way then you'll be at least a bit even as possible. And then you're going to cut the loop side, as you can see, and now you should have four pieces that aren't looped. And now the side that is looped, you're just going to take it and you're going to crisscross it, pull it together, and there you go. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of the section that you just parted, and you're going to put the no, I'm sorry. You're going to section your piece that you just took out of your parted section, and you're going to put that one into 3, because we're going to be braiding the yarn within our hair. And what you want to do and how you do this is you're going to take one side and have it singled, and then the other side is going to be doubled. And what you want to do is you want to line up your hair with one side, well, two parts of the hair that you section out should have a singled, and then one side should have a doubled. So that way when you braid it, it stays in. And what you want to do is you want to braid your hair as tight as possible, not too tight, but as tight as possible, really tight. And you're going to just braid it all the way down. Now this, I've only done this about 3 times already. This will be my 3rd time. Well, I've done it 2 times already. This will be my 3rd time. And so far I've liked it. The reason why I do it is because the yarn fibers, as I said in my last video, it helps your hair grow. And when you're braiding this in, make sure that you detangle it as you go. Because while you're braiding it, it can get tangled. If it gets tangled, ooh, buddy, that is so bad. Hopefully, if it gets tangled, all you have to do is like work out the tangle wherever it is. But while you're working on it, you'll detangle it as well. So, I'm showing you right now that I braided my hair all the way down to the chin. So that's good. So now, here is the finished braid that I've done. Now, as you can see, it doesn't look like the other ones because it's thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of the pink yarn. Because as you can see, I've doubled the yarn, I've doubled the braid of the yarn so that way it can be thicker. So there's 2 strands. And then this one, however, is 1 strand. That's too thin for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yarn again, and I'm going to do the same process as last time. I'm going to measure it up to this 1 braid, and then I'm going to fold it and flip it. So, girl, yes. I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to make it just like the other one that I did. Ooh, I got a message. So, and I'm sorry, I'm listening to music, and I'm also eating ice. So, that's your typical day for Rico, obviously. And what I'm doing is I'm going to cut the thing again, like I did last time. And I'm going to cut the loop again. And I am going to do the crisscross again. Just like this. Oh, looks like a slingshot though. And then you're gonna do like the last time and have one side, well, 2 sides single strand, my bad, and the other side double strand. What that is, I don't know. I'm being a mess right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the single strands and put one side, both sides to be on, well, having it be between that single thread. And what you're going to do is take that single thread and put it with the double thread, like so. And as you can see, I'm making it as tight as possible as I can. And I'm just going to braid it. Now this part is always kind of tricky because you don't want it to mess up, basically. And it's kind of hard because the single braid will get a bit tangled within the double braid. No, I'm sorry. the single strand will get tangled within the braiding process of the second layer on this yarn. And the reason why I do a double layer is so that way it can be thick, like I said earlier. It helps the hair look thicker, because if it's single strand, it wouldn't look as good as it would when it's double strand. But I mean, you can do it single strand if you don't feel like going through all the work. You could do this as long or as short as you want it. You can keep it in for about 2 months or so. And as you can see right here, it got kind of tangled because, yeah, it does that. That's what it does. Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't get, well, it did get tangled, but what I did was I braided it down to a certain spot. You can braid it down to about halfway or a little bit above halfway, just as long as the root is not loose. Because if it's loose, then the second strand or layer will start to fall, and it'll be droopy, and it'll fall down, and you don't want that, honey, because that's not gonna look cute. I mean, yeah, sure, it'll make your hair a little bit look like it's a little longer, but you don't want that, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm doing the same process as I did for the single strand, but I'm going to show you what I didn't show you in the last video. So I'm going to braid my hair all the way down to the certain length, and then I'm going to show you guys how I knot it. So this is me finishing off the braid. And I put the braid in my mouth only because it's pulling on the root of my hair in the back, which that doesn't feel so good when you're braiding. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to braid it all the way down to a certain spot, because sometimes when the yarn is uneven, you're going to have to add one of the single yarns to the other side of a single yarn and double, and then make the double yarn singled, as you can. Because if you can tell, the further I get down to the bottom of the braid, it starts to get a bit shorter on one side. So once it starts to get shorter on one side, like I said, I will add it to one of the other single-sided sides. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Single-sided side. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. But and you can see I am taking that side. No, it's not as long as the other ones, but it still works. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these little pieces here and we're going to loop it, and then we're going to take them and we're going to pull them through the loop. And make sure that when you pull it through the loop that the short part is through the loop. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hold that side, and then you're going to push it, and then you're going to pull the braid, not the two strings, but pull the braid and make it into a knot. And make sure that it's tight so that way it doesn't like come loose. And here is the finished double layer strand. Now you have 2 strands and 2 double layers. So, yay!